okay? We were talking about energy, and you know, Jocot, we post our guestings ahead of time in the website. So even though we are coming to our viewers by way of delayed broadcast, we still receive some questions from either email or by way of Facebook. And this one is from, okay, a little bit hard to read now, but from Ton, okay? Anyway, Ton is asking, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and GE is known to have healthcare solutions for cancer detection. Ako, cancer. Can you give us a view of GE Philippines healthcare business? Okay. Baka kilala nyo itong ano na to. Anyway, still yung cancer detection is the key to survival, no? So if we can detect it sooner, the mortality will be less, no? So do you have any new products? Because I never thought of GE as into the medical products field, no?
Oh yes, it's a great question actually, and we're very focused on the major diseases in the Philippines, cancer being one of them. I think they're the third most critical disease.
Anywhere, siguro. No?
In the Philippines, it's creeping up, and in fact, timely because Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And you're correct, right? Because it means the early detection saves everybody a lot of grief, a lot of cost. We recently undertook a project with the National Kidney Transplant Institute for the installation of a cyclotron and a PET-CT machine. Let me explain. Cancer detection involves the production of certain isotopes.
Yes.
That you will put in the machine, a PET scan machine, and the machine will actually scan you for, you know, telltale signs of possible tumors. So the earlier you do this, the better if you're predisposed. So typically we have now in the Philippines 1 cyclotron and 2 PET scans for a population of about 9,500 million. In Korea, there are 50 cyclotrons and 200 PET scans. There at age 40, it's mandatory for government to get a PET scan. Because it's prohibitive. The cost is prohibitive. And a lot of our friends have to go to the abroad to get the PET scan because it's quite prohibitive. It's actually cheaper. GE, because we like to give access, quality, and affordability in healthcare, teamed up with the NKTI and very progressive thinking folks over there at the Department of Health with our Korean partner to have a cyclotron installed in the facility and a PET scan. And really make this available, hopefully at a very aggressive price, work with the likes of PhilHealth to make sure that our brothers and sisters who may have cancer or are predisposed are able to do this. So this is something that we're very proud about. So the idea is to have more of those. So cancer detection, yeah. And we have a lot of medical equipment as well for cancer, like mammogram, et cetera, which we deploy.
Okay, this is again from the internet. This one is from Jason Ong. Doesn't say where Jason Ong is from, but in your healthcare business, do you have a product that will affect the grassroots or rural areas? From Jason Ong. Grassroots or rural areas. Di ba medyo high value yung mga products?
Yes. One product that comes to mind is called the VScan. Okay? VScan is a portable scanning device, a portable ultrasound device. Why is it groundbreaking? Well, because a lot of deaths, mortality, infant mortality, maternal deaths result because the mother who is in the province, is in the far-flung areas, does not know enough to go down to the health center or the hospital to get a timely ultrasound. By the time that a lot of these mothers or soon-to-be mothers have the ultrasound, there's trouble. So this device, the VScan, which we're piloting in Indonesia, is a portable device, much like your mobile phone.
Like a
Right.
tablet.
Like a tablet, and then you bring it out, and person will do a portable scan, and immediately will see, oh, there's a problem with your pregnancy.
Uh, just for the consumption of our viewers, we have a mock-up of that product. Just to tell people how technology is really moving forward now. Maybe you can.
Yeah. So what it is, it's
It sort of looks like a cell phone.
yeah. In fact, you'd probably think it was a cell phone.
So it's sort of like Star Trek. I mean, you just wave it around,
There.
and the people,
Then you actually you put it through the abdomen,
and
then
you see the baby on the screen.
yeah, there's a
Essentially,
portable.
that's it.
And essentially, what you can do, you can read it, or with wireless, with Wi-Fi, you can actually transmit the results. to
This
an
is a
actual
real
sono-
size
Yeah, this is the actual size.
mock-up.
This is
Okay.
the actual size. So the idea is to bring it and try to pilot it, so that you can have. So we're actually working with the Department of Health to look at certain regions, to work with sonologists to be able to see if they can be trained to actually deploy this. So that's one of the issues
the
we're doing.
comadrona.
We have to. It's either they can read preliminarily, or with the Wi-Fi feature, transmit it wirelessly to somebody who can read it. That's another innovation we're
So
doing.
you just need someone essentially to wave it on. I mean,
Yes.
on the belly of the
Yes.
of the patient,
Yes.
and by way of Wi-Fi, it's transmitted to some hospital.
Some doctors
The
use it here because you can even use it for the upper body, but because the focus is to bring it rural health, right? So pregnancies, infant
Pe-
mortality.
Pero hindi lang
especially.
hindi lang for pregnancy yan. Broken bones maybe.
Yeah, but the focus is really the
Uh-huh.
pregnancies, because we're seeing a lot of infant mortality now, and that's where we can deliver the most value with the technology that we produce.
My understanding is that MRI machines are really very expensive, and but this technology seems to have brought it down a notch.
Yeah, MRI is a different application, meaning it's a more in-depth, deeper sort of application, and you go there for specialized. This, we're trying to focus on the pregnant mother in its purest form. Now you can do heart as well as an initial. It will not substitute for a full-blown if needed be. But it will allow you, if there's an emergency, if the baby is about to come out or there's something wrong with the baby, you can see immediately, and you can actually go over to the center for treatment. So that's one way of actually empowering, curing, and making lives better.
Okay, this is an email from Mila de la Cruz. Healthcare is very costly, especially for most Filipinos. Can GE help in making it more affordable and accessible?
Of course. And that's something that we're trying to do with the government through the PPP, and with partners. The way to do it is to work with the stakeholders, whether it's our partners from Korea, let's say for the cyclotron PET scan. As I said, we aim to reduce the cost of cancer diagnosis substantially, right? Work with, let's say, groups of hospitals. The way to do it is to say, all right, let's talk about volume, how we can do it. Let's talk about your capex requirements. Let's think out of the box and see how we can make it work with your budgets. We have also what we call the gold seal. So it's like refurbished equipment that we can probably deploy in the countryside. Doesn't cost us much. So a lot of that is being brought to bear. A lot of it is also technology. For example, if we're able to bring, let's say, equipment to hospitals that don't have the readers, for example, and we can, through technology, transmit data to a central hub that reads. So we have a pilot, for example, in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, government-private hospital.
Yeah.
So we can reduce the cost. That's a way of doing it.
You know, the program will not be complete if I do not touch up on the job opportunities at GE, and I understand that your company has gotten into the the BPO bandwagon. Is that something new for you?
Not necessarily. It's been there a few years. It's really for our G Capital business, which is our retail finance partners. So about 1,100 heads in the south, in Alabang.
Yes.
And as with any of our BPO companies in the Philippines, our customers are very happy. As you know, we're number 1 voice in the world. We're number 3 non-voice. We're trying to bring more of that, both in the voice and maybe the non-voice. We also have backroom shared service work being done. And this is not new to any of the companies that do business, multinationals that do business here in the Philippines. And I think that's a testament to how good the Filipino worker is. So rather than have them abroad, keep them here. So we're also proud about the folks who work in GE who have regional responsibilities, who find themselves in other countries as well. So that's, I think, what you get from an organization like General Electric. We're able to connect people, not just in terms of jobs, but our customers. So we're connecting, for example, a customer of ours in Myanmar, a couple of customers, for opportunities there. Opportunities in Nigeria as well, in the energy space.
So in other words, your company is pretty well entrenched in the Philippines.
We're a significant presence, I think, in all sectors. I think the mandate is to really have a broader footprint, a more meaningful footprint in terms of the mission that we have, in terms of the areas that we service, whether it's aviation or transportation or energy or healthcare, power, whatever.
As the CEO, basically you're the top brass, so to speak. Have you introduced any significant changes in the company, the way it's run, the way it's approaching its customers in the Philippines?
I wouldn't say I've introduced any significant change. I'm working on what is there and just building what is there. I guess I like going out and meeting people, even before. I like engaging with CEOs, mid-level managers, and the person who does the actual work on the field. So I talk to a lot of customers. I talk to government stakeholders. I talk to our customers. I enjoy it a lot. It's a great opportunity because I think that we have a role to play in nation building. It's a great time to be here in terms of the economy. Economy is growing. I'd like, hopefully, to see manufacturing grow a little bit more. We're in a very sweet spot in terms of where the economy is poised. I think the energy space should see some decent growth, a lot of opportunities, healthcare as well. So a lot of exciting things happening.
I just have to inject this before we go. Now, since GE is a US-based company, any chance that the big American companies will have will receive any fallout from the budget impasse that the Americans are fearing right now? It's actually unraveling right now.
Sure.
But we just have to mention that. No, cannot help but do so.
I saw an article saying that our government said it will not affect. I have not seen any. I have not received any, advice from the U.S. or the region. I don't think so. I mean, the business itself are regionalized and localized in a way that we are running the Philippines. We report their lines, and business goes on. And I think that's the great beauty of a large conglomerate. I mean, for GE, about 60% of our revenues are outside of the U.S. So that means a lot of it we're a truly global company. So,
very briefly, your parting shot.
Well, thanks a lot for the opportunity to talk about what we do in the Philippines for GE here. There's a lot happening. It's a great time to be in the Philippines along the businesses that we have, and GE will certainly stay here for the long haul, working with partners and customers and our stakeholders for a better Philippines.
Thank you.
Thanks, Miguel.
On that note, we hope today's show gave you some useful and potentially life-changing ideas in